Good morning. Hello, everybody. We're live. I'll just wait and see everyone get their notifications so that they know we're live, and then we can chat to everybody. Just wait and see if anyone joins us. If you can hear me and see me, press your like button on the screen so that we know you're there. Okay, so good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me on today's Talking Cafe. My name is Debbie, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm the village agent that covers Taunton Deane. Today I'm joined by some lovely guests, as you can see, and we're going to be looking into what support is available for Somerset businesses who may be looking for help at the moment during these very uncertain times. So let me introduce everybody. First of all, I have the lovely Becky Brown. Becky is an Employment and Senior Skills Officer from Up Somerset. Sorry, Becky, a bit of a tongue twister there. Couldn't get that out. And then we have Lindsay. She is for the Online Business Advisor from the heart of Southwest Growth Hub. Marie Howard. She's our Apprenticeship and Skills Advisor for Skill Up Somerset. And last but not least, lovely Andy, who is from Mind in Somerset. So good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning. Are we all off mute? Hello, hello.
Morning.
Hello. Yeah. Good morning. Lovely to see you all. It's a bit grey out there, but maybe today we can share a little bit of sparkle and make the day seem a bit brighter for a lot of people. So let me start by with you, Becky. For anyone that's not heard of you, what is Step Up Somerset?
Okay, well, first of all, I work part-time for Somerset West and Taunton Council and also for Somerset County Council. And both roles are involved with employment and skills and trying to help people get back into or re-engage with the job market and put in different interventions or different support packages that will help people achieve their goals. And one of those is the Step Up website. And this has been created as the one-stop shop for all information to do with employment, training, business support. It has a huge amount of information on there. In fact, I can be perfectly honest and say it has sometimes, I feel, too much information on there. But what we're trying to do, we wanted to get it up and running so it's there for people to access. But what we're doing now is re-looking at it and refining it and making it a lot easier for people to access and to understand and get to where they want to go. There is a good search engine on there, so they can look at that. But I'm also involved with the employment hubs across Somerset West and Taunton district and also across the county as well. Okay,
that's fantastic. So for businesses then, they can literally just log on to Step Up Somerset, go to the search engine, type in any keywords for any support they're looking for, and presumably then they will be signposted to the relevant support groups that are out there for them. Okay,
there's support on there for redundancy, for the Kickstart programme, links to the Growth Hub, to various other organisations that can help, but I can talk about that later on if you would like.
Yes. Yeah, fantastic. Let's say hello to Lindsay. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lindsay. How are you? You're okay?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Lindsay, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and where you're from, and what you can offer any business out there.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity for this, by the way. I didn't mention earlier, but we really appreciate it because one of the biggest problems with the Growth Hub is people don't know we actually exist and how we can help. Like anything, getting the message out is actually a real problem. You know, you try as much as you can to connect. But my name's Lindsay Redette. I'm one of the online business advisors for the Heart of the Southwest Growth Hub. I've been an online advisor for just coming up to 18 months now. Very passionate about what we do in the Growth Hub because we're a really small but mighty team because we are there to help businesses within the region. So The Growth Hub reports directly into the LEP under the contract for the LEP. And although we work for Devon County Council, the LEP reports into the Department of Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. So I work for Devon County Council under that contract. Just to give some businesses an example of some of the support that we can help you with, GSP is probably our most popular programme. So it's a one-to-one bespoke training package, upskilling, business review. It's all encompassing. On top of that, we've got other support programmes like skill support for the workforce. There's peer-to-peer networking groups, digital upskilling and packages. So if people are needing help with their website, if they're looking for a fact sheet on how to pick a website developer, we can help with all of this. Some of the examples of some of the inquiries we get are funding services or searches. So, for example, some of the local authorities at the moment, as most people are aware, have some local restriction grants. We get a lot of inquiries about general grants, but also those at the moment. Business reviews and one-to-ones. We cover startups, we cover established businesses. As long as you have under 250 employees and not a turnover over £42 million, there's always something we can do to assist. In any way. We have available webinars from our support providers. We refer into people like Becky, Andy and Marie for different reasons, obviously after a conversation with the business, because like we are all aware, once you actually start talking to someone about their business and how we can help, we then go off and find packages or programs to support them depending on what they're looking for. And also because a lot of people don't know what we do and how we can help, that conversation can assist with coming up with new ideas or other things they might not have thought of, because what you don't know what's out there is what we're here to basically provide. So we're there to be the clearing for you, the referral party to guide you through what is available and what is not. And so we have fact sheets available, so Cobra fact sheets, we have webinars, one-to-one training and bespoke packages with skill support for the workforce, just as an example, peer-to-peer networking groups, and generally a conversation about you and your business. You know, how can we help you, which is very rewarding for us. So that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Lovely, thank you. Thank you very much. Very interesting. Marie, good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Hello. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you again, like Lindsay says, for the opportunity. So great to be here.
You're more than welcome, and it's lovely to have you. And you know, working. The important is that we all work together within the community. We are all here to working with the community for the community. So it's wonderful to be able to have this opportunity to speak to you all and share all this information that we all have. So tell us a little bit about where you're from, Marie, and what you can offer.
Yes, so I work for the Dorset and Somerset Training Provider Network, which is a membership group for the local training provision. So that's all of the colleges and independent training providers, some national providers. And within that is Skill Up Somerset. So it's a free, impartial service helping businesses and individuals across Somerset with their apprenticeship and skills journey. So like I say, it's offering free and impartial advice. So although I'm part of the training provider network, we're not restricted to working just with the members, but we've got such a wealth of training opportunities across Somerset. When we talk to businesses about their skills needs, we're then able to introduce and find them the most relevant training provision local to them. Some businesses, they may have a skills gap, and then when we start talking to them, we're able to explain the government incentives that are on offer at the moment with regards to skills. So there's a few out there. Becky's mentioned the Kickstart programme for businesses offering new apprenticeship or trainee opportunities. There's financial incentives attached to that. So we can explain all of that and see what's appropriate. I think it's getting rid of some of those myths around apprenticeships. So sometimes apprenticeships are solutions for businesses that they didn't realise, because they can be for their current staff as well as new recruits. And it's not just for young people. Apprenticeships can be for all ages over the age of 16. So it's getting rid of those myths and then helping to navigate that skills landscape. like Lindsay said, we do refer different businesses towards the Growth Hub, because there's a huge resource there with the digital online courses, as well as our members. So anything, you know, I've supported businesses, anything from antenatal training, machine testing, management. There's such a variety now of skills support out there. There's a lot. So I think sometimes businesses don't know where to start, and what's available, and what would be most relevant for their business. So we can help them navigate that and put them in contact with the right people locally, and help them with that journey.
Brilliant, fantastic. And we are putting up all the links to websites. If everyone looks in the chat, if anyone wants to know where they can find you online, then all the details are there. And last but not least, Andy. Good morning. Hello, Andy. And we know you're from Mind in Somerset. Tell us a little bit about what you can offer.
Morning, Debbie and everyone. Yeah, so Mind in Somerset is a county-wide mental health charity offering a range of support services to anyone in the community. Some of us work is on a sort of one-to-one basis, so it's on a group, and a lot of our work as well recently has also been delivered virtually and through the helpline. So a couple of services then I'll sort of mention is we've run a 24/7 county-wide mental health support and listening service, Mindline Somerset. You can ring up with sort of just general sort of wanting to find out some more information, inquiries about mental health support in the county. It might be that somebody might use it just for a listening ear, to have somebody confidentially, and also you can do it anonymously, call and just access some support, through to where people maybe are experiencing more significant mental distress. And part of the Mindline offer beyond the sort of listening support is also we are able to link people up and connect them up with wider mental health support. And over the last 6 months, and particularly actually during the pandemic, we've developed the service in a partnership called Open Mental Health, and that's working with both the NHS and also 9 other voluntary sector partners to really try and bolster the mental health provision in the county, make sure that people don't fall through the gaps. And so it's a good entry point if somebody knows that they're probably wanting to seek and access a bit more support, but isn't sure sort of what level that is. Mindline is able to kind of be a bit of a pathway and a conduit for that. Alongside those sort of direct services, we also run a number of training programs, and I know that last week's Talking Cafe was of interest to a number of the listeners. And so we do that in partnership with Somerset Skills and Learning. And I would recommend if you go to their website, we'll put some links up. There's a level 2 mental health, first aid for mental health awareness course available. And at the moment, we're doing a mindfulness, wisdom of anxiety and relaxation course. And these are all sort of short courses that people can access and just doing their time. They do have an accreditation process if somebody wants to do that in the end, but might be useful for people at these stressful times.
Yes, I mean it's really important, isn't it, for all of us that during this time we're all looking after each other and looking after ourselves and our own mental well-being. You know, it's really important, and people are very good at hiding it, and that's one of the difficulties, isn't it? On the outside, everybody seems to be normal or acting, they're going through their life normal, when you don't actually know what's happening inside, and sometimes people are really struggling. So, you know, it's nice to say to people, how are you? How are you doing? So that's very interesting, Andy. Thank you. So everyone is talking about it. COVID, we can't get away from it. A lot of businesses are struggling. What support is out there? If you are a business and you are really struggling, what's the first thing you should be doing? Where should you be going to? Who can give you the most help? Anybody can answer that for me? Becky?
Do you want me to start a little bit?
Yes, please, tell me.
Because as you say, Debbie, there is a huge amount of help out there. Could I take one step back before I start on this? Could I first of all just endorse everything that Lindsay has said about the Growth Hub? Lindsay, I didn't realise that you were going to be on the call today. I apologise, because I was going to give a very brief overview of the Growth Hub. But I think we've got the expert here. The only other thing I would say, which I found to be really useful, is to sign up for the Growth Hub newsletter, because that's been so useful. And the other thing is, when Andy was talking about the mental health awareness course, I went on that, I don't know, four years ago, Andy, I can't remember. But that gave, because I work with a lot of vulnerable people, that gave me so much more confidence to work and communicate with people who might be suffering with mental health issues. And it really gave an added dimension to my role. And I would recommend anybody to go onto that course, anybody. So going back to what support is available for the businesses, well, as Lindsay has said, there's a huge amount of support that's available through the Growth Hub. At the moment, following the national restrictions, please forgive me, there's a lot of information here. So I have got my crib sheet and I will refer to it. Following the new restrictions being imposed in England for the period of the 5th of November to the 2nd of December, the government has provided all the district councils with funding to help support businesses affected by the restrictions. And this support is going to fall into two categories. The first is a mandatory grant scheme, and where the government have set the eligibility rules. And this has got the really jazzy title of Local Restrictions Support Grant. You try saying that, it's a mouthful. And it only applies during the period of the national restriction. It will apply to businesses which have to close, they must close, and includes non-essential retail, leisure, personal care, sports facilities and hospitality businesses, and that they appear on the local rating list, which is compiled by the valuation agency. Exemptions: these businesses will not be eligible. Those businesses that are not required to close, premises that were unoccupied, businesses that were not named on the rate account of the premises, businesses that were in administration or insolvent, and businesses which have already received grant payment that equals the maximum levels of state aid. As far as the payments are concerned, for each qualifying 28 days of national restrictions, businesses occupying properties appearing on the local rating list with a rateable value of exactly 15,000 or under will receive a payment of 1,334. Over rateable value of 15,000 and less than 51,000 will receive a payment of 2,000. Those with a 51,000 rateable value or above will receive 3,000. And if a business has more than one eligible premises, they will be eligible for more than one grant. The councils are waiting for final guidance and clarification from the government in relation to this grant scheme. And once the councils have this, they will finalise their application process and start inviting applications via district council websites. And I can't, it's so important for businesses to keep up to date with things that as they develop by visiting their local district council's website, because that's where all the information will be about funding and grants available. Now, there's a second pot of funding that councils have received, and this is an additional restrictions grant funding. And that will be, how it's going to be best used will be decided by the council. Whether the business is open or closed and whether they occupy properties rated for business rates or not. The councils have only just received this funding and the associated guidance, and they will need time to process all of this and consider the options. And again, further information will appear on the council website in due course. So, as I said, there's a lot of information in there to take out and absorb. But if you look on the government website or on your local district council website, they will have the information and, when it comes available, the applications. And the districts are working together to try and get some kind of uniformity on the forms, so they all look the same and the process is the same, and it will make things a lot easier. But that's where to go in the first instance.
I will just add, if it's okay, Becky, I will just add that some of the local authorities are actually already open and running. Mendip, I believe, in Taunton aren't open yet. But is it South Somerset and Sedgemoor are actually open, and I am a little bit nervous for businesses, I'll be honest, and the reason being is I know some of the Devon local authorities have actually put a time limit on the application to be able to apply. So one of the Devon authorities has put it's only open for a week. So just to mention to businesses, please don't delay, don't sit on this, please act. That money is there to support you and your business, to cover your costs. So don't delay, get on your local authority webpage, just like you said, Becky, get on there, have a look. It's the only two things I didn't mention actually when I talked about the Growth Hub was the newsletter and that we're fully funded. The two main points, one of the biggest points is that we are completely fully funded, which I love saying, although our marketing officer doesn't appreciate me saying that because it devalues the service, but it doesn't. It's fully funded. I'm here to help businesses within the region, Devon and Somerset, and I'm very passionate about that. But yeah, back to your main point, please don't delay. Do get on, have a look at your local authority. If you've got any queries, you're not sure which one your local authority is, I've put the link in, hopefully in the chat, for the Heart of the South West Growth Hub, and I'll actually put the get in touch with us and have a conversation, and we can navigate you through that process and help out where we can, because that's what we're there to do.
Brilliant.
Good. And really pass the word on to other businesses as well. It was amazing in the last lockdown. I spoke to 2 or 3 small businesses in my area, and I mentioned, you have applied for your grant, haven't you? Well, I wouldn't be eligible. I think you are. Get on and apply. And they were eligible and they had no idea. But and also, I think you're absolutely right about this time restriction. Because the lockdown is only for 3 months, there will be, I'm sure, well, you've said it, Lindsay, there will be a time restriction on it. Absolutely.
And how long for businesses, if they apply for the grant, how long does it take for that grant to come through to them?
Last time it was very, very quick. I think it was, in some instances, it's like a week to turn around.
Oh, really?
But I'm not sure on this one, Debbie, at the moment.
Okay, so
my colleague's working on the grant process.
The important thing is, like you say, is if get that application in. Even if you're not sure whether you qualify, it's better to apply and be told that you don't qualify than to actually make that decision yourself. So that's very, very good information to be sharing. So thank you for that. Marie, can I just come to you quickly? Sorry, Becky, have you finished? Was there anything else you want to say, Becky? You finished? Okay. No, Becky's hiding. Marie, you tell us a little bit about your apprenticeships. Actually, one of the things I wanted to pick up that you said earlier was about that apprenticeships are open for anybody of any age, which is something that I didn't realise. I was under the belief that it was just you did an apprenticeship if you finished school and college. My son actually completed an apprenticeship and thoroughly enjoyed it, and has since gone on and has got a very good job role, and he's thriving. So for him, it was the right opportunity. So tell me, what incentives are there at the moment for companies to take on apprenticeships, especially when they feel that they're struggling? Is there any incentive right now during this time to take on an apprentice?
There is. The government has announced some financial incentives for employers offering new opportunities. So where they're offering a vacancy. So depending on the age of the apprentice that is successful with them would be how much the incentive is. But it could be anything. For those aged over 25, it would be £1,500. And £2,000 for a 16 to 24-year-old if they offered them an apprenticeship opportunity. There's also traineeships available as well, which is for the younger. The traineeships is for the younger people, which is 16 to 24, and that's more of a work experience placement, which would hopefully lead on to an apprenticeship. So there's financial incentives for both of those. But yes, like I mentioned, it is for any age, apprenticeships from age 16. So as well as advertising for a new vacancy that would pull down one of the incentives, it may be that you need training for one of your existing member of staff. And, you know, it could be a 30, 40, 50-year-old. There isn't an upper age limit. But it's certainly worth looking at, because the government fund, you know, potentially 95% of the training costs. So, and the variety is huge now with apprenticeships. People are traditionally think of your perhaps construction trades or hairdressing, and, you know, it's so much more than that now. What is growing and becoming more available is higher and degree apprenticeships. So you could achieve a master's, so the same qualification you would get as going to university, you could achieve through the apprenticeship route. And like I say, that is for any age. So it's certainly, you know, I've spoken to businesses only last week where they were looking at putting one of their managers through a level 5 qualification. And when I spoke to them about the apprenticeship route, they hadn't realised it was a larger employer, so they pay the apprenticeship levy. They could use that funding to pay for a level 5 qualification through the apprenticeship route. Right, so that was what they chose to do.
So again, it's really important that we're getting that information out there to people that aren't aware that this is available. How has the COVID situation affected companies that perhaps were thinking about taking on apprentice, have taken on an apprentice, now had to shut the business because of lockdown? How does that all work together during this uncertain time?
Apprenticeships, on the whole, from what I'm aware, have been able to continue. So there's been those that already have apprentices, they've been able to continue their learning, albeit remotely or online. There's been a few that have had to have a break, but on the whole, those apprentices have been able to continue, which is great. Some employers have delayed where they normally would perhaps be advertising vacancies for more apprentices. They have put that on hold. So we are seeing fewer apprenticeship vacancies. However, there are still employers out there advertising for apprenticeships. So there are still opportunities and businesses are still taking on apprentices, which is great. As we know, some industries are doing are really busy during this time. You know, there's apprenticeships through the NHS. There's routes through there for apprenticeships. It's so broad now. So there's the Find an Apprenticeship website, the government website, where employers can advertise their vacancies free of charge. That's where it's encouraged that the employers use that, because that's the kind of go-to place for people looking for apprentices, for apprenticeships. And if you look on that website now, you know, there's quite a lot of vacancies locally, which is great. So yeah, employers are still taking on apprentices. It's still possible. The learning continues. All of the training providers and colleges, you know, have done a great job in adapting. Like many, a lot of the training's gone online. Some of it, they've now made their training centres safe places for students to return, which is great. So yes, it's still out there, still available.
It's a whole new way of learning, isn't it now? New way of learning. Okay. We everything seems to be talking about COVID. One of the questions that I wanted to ask was, we are coming out of the EU, dare I mention Brexit. Businesses might be affected by this. So what should they be doing to prepare for that? And is that something that businesses are thinking about right now, or has the fact that COVID has hit us so badly and taken over that's all they're concentrating on? If you are a business that, you know, normally trades within the EU, you're now going to be affected. What should they be doing to prepare for that? Anyone can answer me.
You've asked actually a really relevant question at the minute, because we've been, as a Growth Hub, we were approached very recently about how many Brexit inquiries we've had, but you've already touched on my response actually to that question. Is most people at the moment that I've spoken to, and it's just through my experience, they're actually more worried about COVID and what support is out there for how to still continue trading. You know, how can they still generate revenue? How can they keep their businesses open? So Brexit's really on the back burner from my experience, from talking to clients on the phone, you know, daily. We are frontline service, and I talk to clients every day. I have that conversation about their business. If they are importing or exporting, the government have actually got an awesome amount of literature available for them on the transition and what they should be doing and how and when. If you have a look on our Growth Hub website, there's actually a step-by-step information for them on there about what they should be considering, how they got their importing documentation, if they got someone upskilled on being able to do that, continue to export and import from the European Union after we leave. Back to your point that you mentioned earlier also about business support, there is so much within the Growth Hub that is available for Brexit, for COVID, for one-to-one business support, peer-to-peer mentoring. It really is a plethora. We use the word fact sheet, and it's almost sort of, yeah, fact sheet, you know, you don't really take its contents. The Cobra fact sheets which we supply give market information, key information that can make you change, or give you insight information to make you change, or be able to think outside the box to continue trading, which is is a really big thing. How can we work within the parameters which we're confined to be working in at the moment with COVID? So yeah, I just wanted to, because I didn't really mention all the things that were available. But definitely when it comes to Brexit, have a look at the Growth Hub website, get in contact with us, ask us what problems you're having, see how we can help you under a fully funded business support sphere.
Yeah, fantastic. We've got a couple of questions. Rob has asked for you, Andy, actually, does Mind have a facility to talk to someone over online chats or facilities on social media?
Yeah, so it's basically, Mindline is a telephone-only service, but some of the specific projects do have an online chat function. So if somebody wanted to make contact who's perhaps been bereaved by suicide, they would be able to make contact using a sort of online chat feature. It's something that Rob's not the only person who's asked, and we are absolutely looking into how we can sort of enhance our offer with that kind of online chat, or text as well as the other thing that people have asked for. But at the moment, it's mainly telephone.
And lovely Carolyn, she attended a mental health first aid training in the workplace, which was delivered by you, Andy. She said it was excellent, and she would highly recommend it. So for anybody that's tempted and thinking about it, please do have a look and do the course.
It was great to hear that feedback, and that people are still using those skills many years going forward.
Well,
so no,
I'm just looking at the time. We are nearly running out of time, unless there was anything that anybody else would like to add to this session. Are we all yes, or we no? Are we?
Could I just mention about the Kickstart scheme for any business that wants to offer free training placement for a young person aged 16 to 24. If they can offer 25 hours employment, they will be reimbursed, the employer will be reimbursed for that young person's wages. So it's completely free, but it would enable people to learn valuable skills, get their CV up together, be a part of the actual workplace, because so many of our young people have been directly affected by COVID. Their chances of progression, their job opportunities have all closed down for very many people, and that's the group that's been affected the most so far. Lots of information on the DWP website and on the Step Up website. And on the Step Up website, there's also information about redundancy support for both employers and employees, anybody affected by redundancy. Fantastic. So please do have a look at that.
And we'll have all the links that'll go onto the chat, so everyone can look at that. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. It's been very interesting, and I hope that a lot of people that see this can learn from the information that we've shared. The links are there for anyone to look at. If anyone has got any questions in there watching this on catch up, please put them in the chat and we will look at that. One thing I will say, it's not just businesses that are struggling at the moment. We all need a little bit of support. So from today at Community Council Somerset, with your help, we're starting a campaign for a random act of kindness. So kindness is very easy to share. It can be a very simple thing. It can be knocking next door to on your neighbour's door and asking how they are, taking somebody's dog for a walk, cooking somebody a meal, emptying someone's bins, whatever it is. We'd like to see those acts of kindness. So you can use the hashtag. It's quite a long one. So you can use hashtag Love Somerset Random Act of Kindness. Tag it and we will see it. And I'm going to get the ball rolling, and I'm going to say thank you to somebody, and I'm doing it on this platform because it's probably the best way that I can get this out to lots of people. And I want to thank Hannah. And Hannah is our little angel that sits behind the scenes of our talking cafes. No one ever sees her, no one ever hears from her, but she's there, and she supports every single one of us that does a talking cafe, and she's just brilliant. So my random act of kindness today is to say a big thank you to you, Hannah. I know you're watching behind the scenes. So from all of us, big thumbs up. We love you all, and thank you very much to all my guests that have been with me today. It was my first live talking cafe. I was a bit nervous, but we got through it. So thank you all very much. And yes, brilliant. Thank you. So we'll end the session. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Debbie.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.